Hello. Hi. So this is a spur of the moment kind of thing because Welcome Home is coming out tomorrow and I want to make sure that I answer any of the questions that you have. And I thought that it would be fun for you guys to choose random page numbers and I could read like one really powerful line from that page if you would like. So begin either with your questions or give me a page number between 1 and 309. Oh, yes. Hello. 22. Okay, let's start with 22. Okay, so there's a question. Perhaps this is the most powerful thing on this page. What's standing in the way of you getting home? So think about that question. Page 33, let's see. The foundation is built from two things: self-acceptance, you must feel worthy of the foundation, and self-awareness, knowing who you are. That's one of the most powerful lines on here. Page 16. Wow, remember there's 309 pages, so you guys are picking the little numbers. That's okay. Okay, this is about Princess Diana. It wasn't that I wanted to be like her. My younger self must have felt I shared something with her. That something was the story of search for a home. 266. Let's see. Ooh, this is good. This is where I talk about silence. And if you remember, if you read Mind Platter, I talk about the power of silence so much because silence is one of the most powerful languages that we use. We don't look at it as a language because we think not speaking means you're not really saying or doing anything, but it can be more powerful than any spoken language. So here is what I would say is one of the most powerful things on this page. When you are silent within, you can listen to yourself. And as you apply and practice any of the tools in any room in the book, listening to yourself is absolutely essential. Maximizing the power of listening to yourself cannot happen effectively without silence within. Okay, another page. Lots of love from India, lots of love from Canada, Egypt. Okay, page 63. Let's see. By the way, for some reason I'm losing my voice today. I don't know why. This is a powerful one. This is where I talk about imagining a power bubble around you. So this is in the self-love room in Welcome Home. And I'll show you. So here. So this is what you would see at the beginning of every chapter, right? The title of it, and then it explains to you what I'm going to teach you in this room. So in this room, the strategies or the tools are called gems because imagine a room full of love. It's full of valuable things like gems. So this gem that I'm only going to read the title of it because it's very powerful. Imagine a protective bubble of power around you wherever you go. It's your power and you're keeping it around you. Page 123. This is a poem. So many of you guys have been asking me, is it poetry? Is it It's storytelling, poetry, and actual tools, like the one that I just read to you. But I would give you more in-depth explanations for those tools, not just the titles like I just did right now. So this is page 123 is a continuation of a poem. I'll have to go back to the page before because it's not a complete thought on its own on that page. Okay, so I'm just gonna talk about the poem. So this poem, I talk about, you know, when you go through a really bad experience and there's a part of you that constantly says, I wish I never went through that. I wish I never had to go through that. If I didn't go through that, I would be in a much better place. Or I wish I could go back to like the hour before that happened and change something so that that event itself wouldn't happen. That's what the poem is about. So the line that I repeat in that poem is, I wish I could go back to the exact moment before the moment I met you. To turn around and sit one seat over from the seat where I sat the night I met you. It's a very long poem. It's 3 pages. Okay. Page 268. Did you guys like that poem or that short part of it? Give me a heart if you did. Too many hearts. Okay, we're on 268. This is another one about silence. If you master the art of intentionally listening to yourself, you automatically master the art of intentional silence within. You will also no longer hide behind silence when you want to speak up for yourself. In other words, this is the most powerful part. You choose silence instead of allowing silence to be forced upon you. So powerful. Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna scroll up because I'm missing. Okay, page 222. Let's see. 222. Okay, so here I talk about one of my trips to LA when I talk about a story that the Uber driver told me about her life. So I'll read to you a short snippet from what she said. He loved me, but I screwed it up. I couldn't just let things be. I obsessed over him and where he was, how he felt about me. And then I talk about how I talked her through that, and how I talked about the importance of not believing that the best thing that could have happened to you was in the past. Because if you believe that, then you're not opening room for the best to happen in the future. Okay, let's see. Wow, I can't even keep up with these comments. Okay. I'm sending you love back. Page 66. Let's see. Okay, this is really powerful. Instead of asking yourself, why doesn't X love me? What do I need to change about myself so that they can love me? What is it about me that's making them not love me? Understand that just because someone doesn't love you, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It could just mean this person isn't right for you. Aw, thank you. You guys are so sweet. Yes, if you struggle with anxiety, definitely this is for you. Yeah. Page 47. So page 47, I kind of have a visual of what it means to be self-aware. So I wouldn't really be able to read that part. How do you buy this book? Go to welcomehomebook.com and it gives you all the links. Welcome Home is literally available wherever you're trying to buy a book. Just search Najwa Zebian Welcome Home and it comes up. Aw. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. You're making me smile so much. The book is Welcome Home. This is my 4th book. 137. This is a lot harder than I thought it would be because Mind Platter, The Nectar of Pain, and Sparks of Phoenix were more like you open to any page and there's just a reflection or a poem, whereas this one tells a story. So that's why it's a bit difficult for me to find like a complete idea to just read to you on the spot. I think someone said 137. Yes, that's what I was opening to. Okay. Ooh, this is really powerful. I still allowed those who judged me into my life without really welcoming them. How? By allowing their opinions of me to affect the way I saw myself. So a really powerful thing I talk about in Welcome Home is how you don't only build your home in other people by, seeking their love or their validation, or a part of you building your home in others is abandoning yourself to the point where not only are you seeking for them to welcome you into their actual lives, but even their opinions become a home for you more than your own opinion of yourself. So if their opinions get to you, in a way, indirectly, you are still building a home within them because you're looking at what they think of you as an indication that you don't deserve whatever it is, love, belonging, whatever it is that you are looking for. I'm sending you love back. So we're just literally a few hours away from Welcome Home officially being out in the world. So I'm just really excited about that. And what's the chapter that first comes to your mind when you think about Welcome Home? There isn't really one chapter, but maybe it's the chapter that I had as part of my proposal for a publishing deal, and that was the first chapter where I talk about what it was that led me to a point to understand that I needed to start building a home within. And that's a story that takes me years and years and years back, and I reflect on all of the stories in my life up to this point that have proven to me that I deserve the exact same ending every single time. So I would say that's the one that comes to my mind first, but literally each and every one of them was a whole journey on its own, so I wouldn't pick a favorite. But yeah, there is no favorite pair. I can't pick a favorite. What is the major theme of this book? I'm teaching you how to build a home within yourself, and what that means is making it back to yourself, taking that journey back to yourself, understanding what it means practically to build a home within yourself, because it's a very inspirational, motivational, spiritual concept. But I teach you actually what having a home within you looks like. I teach you exactly what self-love looks like, because we talk about self-love all the time, right? I teach you actual strategies and tools to use in your daily life to get to a point where you understand what self-love is, where you understand what forgiveness is. So each chapter is like a room in your home, okay? Hi from Morocco. Aw. Hi from here to everyone, to everywhere. Why are we so scared to build a home within ourselves? Is it just the vulnerability? I don't think it's just the vulnerability. I think the fear of building a home within yourself is, first of all, you've been so used to building your home within other people your whole life. You haven't really given yourself permission to think, I am my own home. Like, I deserve to see myself through my eyes. You grow up in a world that tells you how you need to be and who you need to be and what you need to do to get to a point where you deserve whatever it is that the world has to offer you. So it's scary because you've never tried it before. And recently I shared a quote that I don't know who said these words, but they're not mine. To get somewhere you've never been, you have to do things you've never done. In other words, to build a home within yourself, you have to veer off that path that you've always taken in your life, which is gravitating towards being welcomed into other people. How do you allow yourself to write as freely as possible, especially as a survivor of many difficult experiences? Oh, too many comments. You know the video I uploaded today where I said I got to a point where I had to choose between this manufactured, and it's not manufactured as in I was tricking people, it was more like manufactured in my own eyes, where I felt like I was pretending to be someone so that I could fit in and belong in other people's lives. And that someone was somebody who was constantly a people pleaser, who never upset anybody, who never said anything that would, you know, cause someone to say, oh, like she has her own voice. That's what I mean. So to choose between that person just so that I could say I'm on the safe side, people love me, you know, or who I actually am. And to get to this point, I had to be myself. I had to write from my heart. And this is why I always tell you, I think every person is a poet, because poetry is a language of the soul. So if you allow yourself to just write it out as it is, that's poetry, because it's so deep and it's so real and it's so raw that there's no filter there. So I had to do that, and I hope that you can do that too. Why do you usually have an overwhelming sense of guilt to others? Why are we so apologetic? Again, because a big part of you has built a home for your well-being and for your feeling of being okay and enough in other people. So when you slightly sense that they are uncomfortable with your growth or with what you're doing with your life, you immediately want to go back to the person that you were that never elicited that kind of reaction from them. So that guilt is, and I talk about guilt in Welcome Home in the chapter where I talk about boundaries, which is the compassion chapter. And I say, don't let guilt stop you. Guilt is actually a very natural part of change, because you've always, think about it this way, you've always looked for validation from others that you were on the right path, right? And now you're at a point where you're making your own decisions. So when you don't get that validation, you're like, oh, I did something wrong, you know? But keep going, keep pushing through it. Because if you know what your intention is, and if you know that this is something that you want to do for yourself because it's the right thing to do for yourself, guilt is just it's like a wave, you know? It'll be really high at one point, but it's going to come back down. Okay, I'll answer a couple more questions and then I'll let you go. Thank you. Any more page numbers that you guys want me to read? No, I've never taken mushrooms before. Is Welcome Home related to the past, present, and future? So I talk about all of those things in Welcome Home, about how you take your past to understand where you are now, and how to look at that past and forgive parts of it. that you need to forgive. Talk about the importance of living in the present moment and the importance of living in a way that creates a future that is authentic to you and is home to you. Okay, page 70. This is a good one. The late Syrian poet Nizar Qabbani wrote, "The female doesn't want a rich man or a handsome man or even a poet. She wants a man who understands her eyes if she gets sad and points to his chest and says, 'Here is your home country.' For years that's what I wanted, until I realized that if I don't put my own hand over my chest and tell the person in the mirror, 'Here is your home country,' no one's chest will ever make me feel home." You may need to say that to yourself too. I just got goosebumps reading that, because to me that was a powerful realization. Okay, Alicia, page 8. So on this page, I would be talking about a conversation, recalling a conversation I had with my therapist. So I will tell you one line that I said to her, okay? "I think I wanted to be held onto by him, but not the way he was holding on to me, which implies I wanted to change the way he feels, and I have no power to do that." Yes, Welcome Home is available in Germany too. So if you want to pre-order it off of, I think it's amazon.de, I believe, you can find it there. Why do we feel hurt when others say no? I talk about rejection a lot in Welcome Home. And I talk about how you need to change the definition of that word. The reason you feel sad and hurt when someone says no, it hurts when you ask for something that you don't get, right? Accept that it's hurtful. You're never going to get to a point in your life where you're like, nothing hurts me, nothing makes me feel anything. That's not healing. That's avoiding. So understanding that it's okay to be hurt that you asked for something that you didn't get, but draw the line there. Don't make their rejection mean something to you about your worthiness of being accepted or being given what you want. Social norms and whether they're important or not. I talk so much about social norms, cultural norms, religious norms in Welcome Home, but very briefly I'll say, if you are following social norms blindly, you are following rules that were put in place before you were even born by people who aren't experiencing what you're experiencing. If you're following certain social norms because you believe in them and you're convinced by them, totally different story. A big part of Welcome Home, coming home to yourself, is self-awareness. That self-awareness is in big part a reflection of how you've seen yourself for so long through the eyes of society and through being right and wrong by following certain norms or not. So when you dig deeper and ask yourself, why do I follow this? Why do I do this? And then come to a point where you're like, okay, I'm convinced of why this is the right way to be. That's a choice you're making. It's not something that you are, feeling forced into. You've helped me so much. Aww. I hope I can continue doing that for all of you. Yes, I do talk about narcissistic behaviors. I talk about gaslighting. I just think if I read parts of those to you guys, I will probably cry. But as you're reading the book, Actually, as if you purchased the audiobook, you will notice there were several points where as I was reading, I got really emotional. And that wasn't something that I could hide or something that I wanted to take out of it anyway. Okay, how about another page number? What if you don't know what you want? Well, life is about finding out what you want and living what you want. Don't think that you have to have things figured out before you actually live them. Okay? Life is about figuring things out as you go along. Just think about it this way. If something gets thrown your way and that you just have to deal with, don't you drop everything and deal with it? Yes, you do. So don't make your future plans continuously be in the future just because you feel like you're not ready. Start working on them now, and you will do what it takes step by step to be ready. Okay. Page 199. I thought about the last page, but I don't want to ruin it for you. Like, I want you to read that, so we won't do the last page. I'm sorry. I shouldn't apologize for that, but yeah, I want you to experience that power on your own. Okay, so page 199. So this is one of the practical strategies that I give you to actually focus on the work that you're doing. And I would say the powerful line here would be identify your distractions. Make a list, remove them, be alone with your thoughts, and be clear on what is best for you to be doing in this moment. Page 55. Thank you for understanding why I wouldn't read the last page. Seriously, I remember exactly where I was sitting when I wrote that page, and I was in tears. Like, the relief that I felt as I was writing it, I can't describe it to you, so I don't want to ruin it for you. I want you to read the whole book and get to that point where you read the last page on your own. Ooh, this is a powerful one. The only permanent residence you are 100% guaranteed to have is within your own home. And this comes from a place of saying, stop renting space in other people's homes for yourself, right? Because as long as you are building your home and other people are asking them to welcome you into their homes, you are taking space from their life. You are seeking your own feeling of being home inside of someone else. The only permanent residence you have for yourself is you. Your home, to start building it. Aw, that's such a beautiful comment. I just have to say, for an Arab woman dealing with all the cultural issues, I look up to you so much. You give me the strength. Aw, that's so sweet. That made my heart smile, honestly. And clearly I'm having a hard time ending this live because I enjoy talking to you. Thank you for loving my voice. That's why I read Welcome Home in my own voice. It took me about a year to write Welcome Home, like to actually put it on paper, but it's been forming itself in my mind, writing itself for the last, I would say, 5 or 6 years. Since I gave that TEDx talk where I said the biggest mistake that we make is that we build our homes in other people. We build those homes and we decorate them. I haven't memorized. How have you evolved into such a knowledgeable lady? Life evolves you. And sitting alone with your thoughts and emotions, definitely. I will share this live afterwards. Favorite line, I think I picked one earlier, and it's not really a favorite line because I can't say I have a favorite line. It's a story. It's my story. So I would say all of it is my favorite line, but what comes to mind that I feel like I should be telling you right now is when you build your home in other people, you give them the power to make you homeless. That's what I would say. Immigration. I do talk about moving from Lebanon to Canada at 16 and how that, what is the reason behind keeping the name of your book as Welcome Home? Okay, so this story is, so you remember that TEDx talk where I stood on stage and I said the biggest mistake that we make is that we build our homes in other people? So that day when I went home or to my hotel room right after giving that talk, I started asking myself, what does that home look like? Because like I said, it's a spiritual, inspirational thing to think of, to build a home within yourself. So I started thinking, practically speaking, what does that look like? And it started writing itself out in my mind, and then the title just came to me. Welcome Home. Because we spend our lives waiting for someone to tell us, I welcome you into my life. You know that feeling of coming home? Like feeling like you're actually going home, wherever that place is. If you see it as a person right now, if you see it as family, if you see it as the place where you work, just that feeling of being embraced for who you are. I want you to be able to tell that to yourself. Welcome home. Yeah. Aw. I haven't been through a lot, but you gave me a positive look and made me learn how to be strong. Aww. I love you all too. I wish these comments would stay afterwards so that I could actually read all of them, but I can't. How do you feel better after the death of a loved one? How to stop thinking about death other than praying and living life to the fullest. Okay, so this is a very powerful quote that I read once, and I don't know who said it, but it's not me, so look it up and find the author. Grief is just another way to love. So don't rush getting to the point where you're like, I don't want to grieve anymore, I don't want to be sad anymore. Grieving them is a form of loving them, because you're feeling sad that someone that you loved is no longer here. That's so beautiful. And that sadness will turn into acceptance, and it will turn into you being fully at peace, knowing that you have processed and went through everything. You've given yourself permission to miss them. It's so normal. So don't rush that. It'll come to you. You might, I can't give you a timeline, but be gentle with yourself and embrace that part of you that feels sad over losing someone that you loved, you know? What if your home doesn't pay your expenses? Well, start investing in it. Okay, let's do one last page, and I will make this live available afterwards, and then if you want to ask me more questions, you could just ask them in the comments. How do you heal a broken heart? You stitch it back together with gold. You see the gold wings on this bird, or the gold? That reflects the analogy of stitching your soul back together with gold. That's what you do when you're broken. You Don't aim to go back to the person you were before the break. You accept that you've been broken, and you say, I'm going to pick up all those pieces and I'm going to create a masterpiece and stitch myself back together with gold. And what that really practically looks like is you feeling the pain and the hurt that this break has caused you. And with the lessons that you learn from feeling that pain, you tell yourself the story. You tell yourself, this is what it makes me believe about myself. This is why it hurts so much. You tell yourself, regardless of what this experience made me believe about myself, I'm changing the narrative. I'm changing the story. Okay, one last page and then I do have to get off just because my phone is at like 5% and I know it's going to die. So give me one more page number. 86. Rejection does not exist. The only rejection that exists is the rejection of the self, period. Being in a state of anything but at home is rejection. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I look forward to hearing your feedback on, opening Welcome Home tomorrow and starting the journey home to yourself. And I'm sending you so much love and so much strength and so much healing. And I will probably do another live with you tomorrow. So I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, and I will share this live with you right now. Take care.